Okay, let's unpack this. You've handed us a really fascinating collection of search queries, keywords, and phrases. It's not just a list, right? It's more like a living snapshot of anticipation around a major event.
Exactly. And the sheer volume, the granularity of these searches, it tells you something big is on the horizon, clearly drawing a huge amount of interest.
And that something is, well, it's pretty clear. The big football showdown between the Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So our mission today is basically to cut through all that data, pull out the key insights from these search terms, and understand what you, the listener, and frankly, countless others are really curious about for this huge college football game.
Well, what's really fascinating here, I think, is that these aren't, headlines or articles somebody wrote. They're direct expressions of curiosity, unfiltered.
Yeah, it's like peering into the collective mind of fans getting ready for a major game.
hmm It gives us this immediate look at their priorities, their passions, this source material. It's a unique window into the pulse of college football. It reveals not just what people want to know, but maybe how deeply they're engaging with it all.
And what an engagement level it is. Let's jump right into what's driving all this buzz, the anticipation. Looking at these sources, I mean, it's just undeniable that the Texas versus Ohio State game is generating huge excitement. We're seeing Texas versus Ohio State 2025 and Ohio State versus Texas 2025 popping up all over the place.
Right, and what's striking is that this is mostly for a game that's still, a year away for many people thinking about it now.
Exactly. But interestingly, we also see mentions of Ohio State versus Texas 2024. So what does this mix of, future focus and maybe some immediate curiosity tell you about how fans engage today?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just about one game on a schedule. It's about two absolute powerhouse programs, teams that always draw national attention.
For
The early and, sustained volume of searches, especially for a 2025 game, reveals something pretty significant about modern sports fandom, I think. It suggests that for these, let's call them marquee matchups, anticipation isn't just built in the weeks before kickoff.
No, it feels different.
It's an ongoing thing, almost a year-round narrative. Fans are kind of calendarizing these big events, right? They're mentally scheduling their lives around what they see as this clash of titans.
Yeah, Clash of Titans is right.
The search data really indicates this game is seen as an event, like a holiday maybe, not just another game. It's really a testament to the gravitational pull these programs have in college football.
That gravitational pull, that's a perfect term for it. It really is. It's like the college football season has these, I don't know, tentpole moments, and this is clearly one. And once that anticipation kicks in, for a lot of fans, it boils down to something very practical.
How do I watch it?
Exactly. How can I actually see this game? And one thing that really jumps out looking at these queries is just the sheer variety of ways people are trying to find it. Terms like where to watch Ohio State Buckeyes football versus Texas Longhorns football, how to watch Texas versus Ohio State, and just what channel is the Ohio State game on. They're everywhere. And we're seeing specific platforms mentioned too. Fox Sports, Sling TV, Yahoo Sports, plus, the classic TV and radio, and of course, the constant search for a live stream free.
Yeah, the free stream.
Yeah.
Always popular.
So what does this really diverse search behavior tell us about what fans prioritize now and maybe the state of sports media itself?
Well, a key insight here is how deeply the fragmentation of sports media really impacts the fan experience. It just does. Fans aren't just looking for a way to watch, they're often looking for their preferred way.
Right, their setup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether that's a traditional channel or a specific streaming service they already pay for, or, even a free option, which might be, let's say, less reliable sometimes. This diversity in search terms, it highlights this kind of almost like a viewing scavenger hunt that fans have to go on now.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Accessibility is key.
Right.
Right. And they seem willing to search quite a bit to find the most convenient or, cost-effective way to tune in.
This whole dynamic, it puts pressure on broadcasters and platforms, sure, but it also reflects a very engaged, very proactive audience. They aren't just passively waiting.
It almost feels like you need a playbook just to figure out how to watch the game anymore, doesn't it?
It can feel that way sometimes, yeah.
But okay, beyond just watching, you, the listener, are looking for the really concrete details, the specifics. It's not just if it's happening, but when exactly, and maybe even what's going to happen. We see searches like, What time is the Texas-Ohio State game, Ohio State kickoff time, and just general schedule searches. Ohio State football schedule, Texas football schedule.
The logistics, exactly. That goes right to the heart of planning your game day. And then, of course, the big one, the instant outcomes. Texas versus Ohio State prediction, Ohio State versus Texas prediction. Everybody wants to know who the experts or maybe the computers think will win.
Absolutely. The predictions are huge.
And then, during and after, that constant need for college football scores, Texas score, Ohio State score, and the specific Texas-Ohio State score. What does this focus on predictions and, like, the exact timing tell us about the psychology of it all? You know, how fans engage with the story before it even starts?
Well, what's truly fascinating about this part of the data, I think, is how it reveals this deeper level of fan engagement. It goes beyond just watching. The strong desire for predictions, it suggests fans aren't just waiting to consume the game, they're actively trying to participate in the narrative around it.
Participate, yeah. How so?
Well, it's not always just about betting, though that's part of it for some. It's about validating their own thoughts, their own analysis, engaging in those pregame debates, shaping their own emotional investment. It's almost like a gamification of being a fan.
Gamification, I like that.
And the focus on kickoff time. It might seem small, but it isn't trivial. It marks that exact moment when all the talk, all the speculation, all the planning, it stops.
Right.
And the actual game begins.
Right. The moment of truth.
It's the anchor point for a whole day's worth of activity for many fans, you know, from tailgates to just setting the DVR. It shows how deeply these events get integrated into their personal lives, their schedules.
Absolutely. That kickoff time, it's that definitive moment. Everything shifts. But for the truly dedicated fans, the ones, you know, planning their day, making predictions, it's not just about that moment. It's also about the people involved.
Yeah.
The players, the coaches.
The human element.
Let's unpack the key figures we see mentioned. There's Steve Sarkisian, obviously the Texas head coach. Then it gets interesting. A mix of maybe current players, former players, maybe analysts. Like Brady Quinn shows up, often a commentator. Then we see player names. C.J. Donaldson, Carnell Tate, Quintravian Wisner, Michael Taff. And specific links like Jack Sawyer, Ohio State, and Caleb Downs, Ohio State. Clearly interest in key Buckeyes.
Yeah, Downs is a big name transfer. That makes sense.
It's a really interesting mix of names, sort of blending the guys on the field now with people who analyze the game, or even those who made history. What does that mix, past, present, commentary tell us about how fans are consuming information about the players and personnel?
Well, this blend, I think it points to a pretty sophisticated fan base. They don't just watch. They actively research. They analyze the components, searches for things like match player stats, roster, depth chart that shows a real desire to understand the pieces on the board.
Like who's starting, who's hot, who's maybe injured.
Exactly. And how does that impact the team's strategy?
Yeah.
This level of detail, it isn't just basic curiosity. It's about building a more informed mental model of the game, almost like a scout or an analyst would. And the appearance of historical figures, you mentioned Vince Young, Manning, Texas, that underscores how legacy and those iconic moments are just woven into current expectations.
Yeah, you can't escape the history with these programs.
Right. Fans connect current players to that rich history. They're asking not just who are they now, but maybe how do they fit into the bigger story? It shows that the narrative of college football is continuous. Past glories definitely inform present hopes.
That's a great point, the continuous narrative. It's like understanding the engine, the players now, but also acknowledging the historical horsepower that got the program there.
Well put.
And extending that idea, even with all this focus on players, stats, game times, we still see searches for things like Ohio State Stadium or UT Austin football. What does that tell you about the broader identity of these teams and how it connects back to the intense interest in just one game?
What's really noteworthy there is that even amid all the tactical, the logistical searches, fans are still rooting their interest in the fundamental identity of these programs, these geographical searches, the institutional ones. They're about more than just a place on a map.
Right. It's the horseshoe. It's DKR.
Precisely. They represent the history, the tradition, the whole fan culture built around these schools. The stadium isn't just a venue. It's like a temple for some, a place of shared memories, collective emotion.
Yeah.
And the university itself, UT Austin, is not just a school. It's the bedrock of this multi-generational legacy. The very names, Buckeyes, Longhorns, they carry so much weight.
They really do.
It extends far beyond any single Ohio-Texas game. It evokes that tribalism, that pride, that emotional investment that anchors all the intense, detailed focus on one game or one player. It really shows that for fans, the passion comes from identifying with something bigger, something more enduring than just the final score.
Yeah.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, the college football enthusiast? Our deep dive into your search queries, it really reveals this remarkably vibrant and honestly pretty sophisticated landscape of fan engagement. We've journeyed through that intense early anticipation for the Texas versus Ohio State 2025 game. We've looked at the myriad, sometimes complicated ways you're planning to watch, from Fox Sports to Sling TV, and that hunt for live streams.
A modern challenge.
Yeah. We've uncovered that deep need for predictions and exact kickoff times, highlighting a really proactive, almost analytical approach to being a fan. And we've seen how you dive deep into player stats and rosters for both the Ohio State Buckeyes and Texas Longhorns, but always kind of connecting them back to the bigger story, the identity of these institutions. You're not just waiting for the game. It seems like you're actively exploring, analyzing, engaging with every single facet of it, almost becoming part of the narrative yourself.
And maybe, as you reflect on all this, here's a final thought to consider. Given how deeply fans engage with predictions, with depth charts, even for games way off in the future, and how they navigate this fragmented media landscape just to watch, what does this tell us about the evolving nature of being a sports spectator? Does the search for information itself, that active anticipation, does it actually become part of the game day experience now? Does it blur the lines between just being a fan and being more like an analyst, or maybe even a kind of participant in the unfolding story of the sport? Certainly a new kind of immersion, isn't it? Something to think about.